Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to get over a past relationship no matter how much time passes? Most people think it means you are still deeply in love or that you let the right person get away. But cognitive psychology reveals a completely different truth. The reason you can't forget your ex usually has nothing to do with romance and everything to do with how your brain stores memories and processes loss. Today, we're going to decode the hidden psychology behind why your mind refuses to let go. Here are 5 reasons you can't forget your ex, backed by psychology. Reason number 1 is the Zeigarnik effect. Think about how a relationship ends. It rarely wraps up perfectly. There are usually unsaid words, unanswered questions, and a ton of confusion. In psychology, the Zeigarnik effect proves that the human brain remembers interrupted or unfinished tasks much better than completed ones. Because your relationship ended without perfect closure, your brain views it as an open loop. Your mind is desperately trying to solve the puzzle, replaying the memories over and over again to find an answer. You aren't obsessing because you are hopelessly in love. Your brain is just biologically wired to hate unfinished business. Reason number 2 is the endowment effect. Have you ever noticed that you look back at the relationship and suddenly only remember the good times, completely ignoring all the toxic fights? Psychology calls this the endowment effect, which is the brain's natural tendency to overvalue something simply because it belonged to us. Letting go of a relationship feels like losing a piece of your own identity. Your brain clings to the familiar, and because of this cognitive bias, you subconsciously convince yourself that what you lost was much more valuable than it actually was, which naturally blocks your personal growth. Reason number 3 is classical conditioning. When you were with your ex, your brain formed thousands of tiny invisible associations. Maybe it was a specific song, the smell of their cologne, or even the sound of your phone buzzing at night. Famous behaviorists like John B. Watson proved that human emotions can be deeply conditioned to everyday objects and events. Every time you experience one of these triggers now, your nervous system automatically fires off a physiological response. You feel a sudden wave of anxiety or sadness, not because you are weak, but because your body is reacting to a conditioned stimulus. Your brain literally has to be untrained. Reason number 4 is mood-dependent memory retrieval. If you feel lonely and sad, you might assume you are sad because you are thinking about your ex. But psychological research by Gordon H. Bauer shows that events and emotions are stored together in your memory. Bauer found that when you are in a sad mood, your brain is biologically primed to easily retrieve other sad or negative memories. So when you have a bad day at work or feel lonely on a Friday night, your current emotional state acts as a magnet, pulling up the painful memories of your breakup. You're trapped in a loop where your mood dictates your memories. Reason number 5 is the psychological sin of persistence. You probably try really hard to push your ex out of your mind, but cognitive psychologist Daniel Schachter identified persistence as a key flaw in human memory, where unwanted, disturbing, or upsetting information becomes highly intrusive. When you actively try to forget someone, you're actually giving it more emotional energy. The harder you try to forget them, the more your brain flags that person as highly important to your survival. That is why the memory persists, eating up your mental energy and popping up right when you're trying to fall asleep. The good news is that heartbreak isn't just an emotional destiny, it's a cognitive habit. And just like any habit, your thinking patterns can change. By understanding the psychological traps your brain is falling into, you can start to rewire your mind, close those mental loops, and finally move forward. Which one of these 5 reasons do you relate to the most? Drop your number in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are dealing with the exact same mental blocks. If you learned something new today and want to keep decoding the hidden psychology behind everyday human behavior, hit that subscribe button right now. Stay smart, protect your peace, and I'll catch you in the next one.